What's up, all my good folks out there? Welcome to Hidden Apple Seeds. I am your host, Miguel Garcia. I have a special show for you today. Sitting here is a gentleman that has reached guru status. Fashion designer, author, a serial entrepreneur. Without further ado, oh, by the way, he happens to have co-found an iconic brand by the name of Fubu. J.Alexander Martin. Peace, my brother.
Long time, bro.
New York City, the Big Apple, also known as the Concrete Jungle. When most people think of New York City, tall buildings, bright lights, and busy streets come to mind. Of course, you can see the obvious richness in those elements, but there's another side of the Big Apple, the side that many consider to be the jungle. The less commercially celebrated parts of New York City, where the true seeds of the Big Apple are hidden. These seeds that I'm describing are the people. Hello, my name is Miguel Garcia, a New York City native. My goal is to explore, find, and celebrate these hidden seeds inside the Big Apple's core. Take this journey with me.
Long time, bro.
How you, man?
Long time.
How you feeling, man?
I'm good. Can't complain. God's good. Walking, talking.
I get
Family's
it.
still alive. I mean, hit a few people, but you know.
You know, one for me as well, man. Not the Delta situation, but definitely lost one of my best homies, man. But hey, listen, like, you know what? We here. We here, man.
We're here. We're gonna carry that legacy until the end.
Yeah, that's right, man. The one thing about you, right? I would say, like from the Fashion 40 time, I actually met you before that, but I want to talk about that.
Fashion 40. Many a nights I'm never satisfied.
Some cool nights there.
Oh yeah.
I would say this, right?
It was fashionable, let's just say that.
Let's say that. Now, let's keep it there. I would say that we've been acquainted for about 10 years, right? And
Nah, I keep more than that.
more than that. If you remember that, because I actually met you like before Fashion.
Yeah,
This is when we really got cool.
I'm one of those guys, I messed up on names, but I can't figure the face.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I have bad vision.
I'm the same way. I would say this, right? From a demeanor standpoint, like, every time we cross paths, like, I would just quickly, oh, so man, it's Jay. Like, you have this presence about you. But there's also like this inner chi that you have, like this discipline. You've been told this before?
Not necessarily chi or discipline, but more so, I'm very hospitable. And after you leave me, you might say, you know what, that was a really cool guy. And I get that, and sometimes I don't know how to absorb that or deal with that, because I'm like, well, what does it mean? Am I soft? Am I too nice? Like, you know, because nice guys a lot of times finish last, but I mean, do you really? You know? But I guess when you look at it at the end, you know, people do business with people they like. So
That's right.
I guess here I'm now doing you know.
Like, like the likable personalities seem to win.
You know what? It's how you look at it. You know, everything is how you look at it, how you perceive it. You know, some people look at it like, look, I'm gonna get mine hook or crook. You know, I'm a hustle. I'm a this, I'm a that. And as soon as somebody walks me telling me I'm a hustle, I don't really want to talk to them, because I figure, to me, the word hustle means, you know, not like you're gonna just get it by any means. That means you're gonna get it by hook or crook, meaning you're gonna get over on me. And I'm not really trying to hear that, because I'm not here. My thing is always, it's a win-win. If we can't both win-win, why are we even talking?
I would kind of say that, that we share that belief right there. Now, when I was talking about that inner chi, honestly, I thought like you studied the arts, like you was into martial arts or something.
Mm-hmm. No, not necessarily. I mean, little Krav Maga, to be honest.
Okay.
But other than that, you know, that didn't necessarily give you my peace. I just think that, you know, spiritually you get your peace. I just think that just being calm and knowing that, look, I've done a lot in my life, and if I don't do another thing in my life after this, you know, after this interview, and I go off and sleep in a corner, you might just sit back and say, wow, that was a great guy, or two, I've done enough to show someone that they can do it also. So with that in mind, it's like, I don't have to do anything else in my life. Why am I even caring? Like, I'm not saying that I don't care in the world, but the care is more so about, you know, I left everything I had on the line and I did it my way. You know, we built a multi-million-dollar business. I mean, I don't want to say million because it actually is beyond that. It's in the billions at this point. But
Yeah, we're definitely going to touch on that.
what else am I going to say? I mean, textbooks. We're in, museums. We're in 3 museums. Like, what else? What else can I do? And again, I'm not here to prove nothing. I'm here to show you that you could do it and give all my guidance, everything I have, to give to the next person so they can achieve. Because, not that I have a jet, but I want to borrow your jet.
I get it. And that's something that I've always gave you props for, like, because you've done so much dope shit. And listen, props to all the dope shit that you've done. But even with that said, you doing dope shit, like, you were still connected with the people.
I liked, and I'm going to go way back to when I just being that guy. I'm always that guy. I might be in a little show right now because of COVID, but that guy just loves to be out. He loves to be amongst people. He loves to get the party started. He loves to just be there. He loves to just be around people. He loves to open the bar. He loves to just make people happy. He loves to just see the love and just people having a good time. And just maybe he might have problems, might have stuff going on, whatever is going on, baby mom, John, whatever it is. But I just love to see. You know what? For this night, for about these hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, we're gonna forget about this and have a good time.
It's going for like a vacation, like a little 3-hour vacation.
Yeah, I mean that's what I always loved, and I don't look back on it. Again, we're gonna talk about a bunch of stuff. Like I said, I wrote a book about money making me crazy, and me spending a lot of money, just making sure everybody had a good time and making sure. And actually, I had a good time watching it. So I don't look back and be like, wow, why did I do this? Why did I do that? Because again, it helped a lot of people. Sometimes I go to places and I just stand around and they'll be like, man, you know what? With your tips, you put my kids through college.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, I remember you, man, from, oh my God, you know what? You don't have to buy anything here. Here. Oh, you got him standing outside? Oh, no. Bring him right in.
That's that good karma coming back.
Here's a seat, you don't have to buy. Don't buy, here's a bottle, here, you relax. Because that's just how it is. You do good, you do well, and you don't want nothing from it. You do what you do because you do it. Because it's inside, that's what you do. And we don't have that anymore, because more people are selfish. I've never been a selfish guy. I might have, sometimes to be honest, I probably looked like I was selfish. But I never was. You have to come up to me, and I think because sometimes when people look at me and go, well, he might be a little standoffish. I'm not standoffish. You're going to come to me correct, because I'm always coming to you correct. And, it begets, respect begets respect. And I always command respect. And in that case, I always wanted to give respect. Like if a person walked towards me and I seen them before, I would say, hey, before they see me, no matter who they were. Celebrity, regular person, whatever, doesn't even matter. I'm gonna greet you before you greet me, because I'm appreciative that I see you. I'm not looking at me, I ain't about me. It's all about you, it's all about what I can give back, what I can do. And that's just how I've always been.
I commend you for that.
And I wouldn't take a command. I won't take you saying come in, because it's not about that. It's just what people are supposed to do.
It is a responsibility that everyone, all good folks should take. It is a responsibility. I'm saying I commend you for that. I actually commend you for the facts, because I can attest to that. Every time, we done hung out, listen, we shoot the shit.
Right.
I don't know if y'all know, but maybe the folks that really know him, this guy, I know he has that gangster look. He is a little gangster, all right? But he's also funny, man. He has a sense of humor, all right? And we need that type of shit, man. So this is what I mean, when you touch the people, it's like, we gravitate towards that. You know what I'm saying? These same people that you touch, we want to see you continue on winning.
Again, if you can't win unless somebody else won as well. You know what I mean? You can't win and celebrate by yourself. So, you know what I mean? Right. So if I'm quote unquote winning, that means we all winning. Because now you see the formula how to win. So all you do is take that and then you go win. And now we all win.
You touched on something. Money makes you crazy. Does money make you crazy before you build an empire or after?
Money makes you crazy before or after.
And these are his 2 books, by the way. We're gonna touch on that.
And I've never heard that question, but honestly, if I had to ask that question, I think money makes you crazy. It's the process that makes you crazy.
It's the process.
Because it's not necessarily you that is becoming crazy. It's the people around you that's becoming crazy. So the surrounding makes you, you know, how you brought up, what you've done, what you're doing, and that whole surroundings makes you crazy. So you're standing there and you have a bubble all around you, it's a bunch of full of craziness. So now you're going crazy looking around like, because your head is spinning. That's what makes you crazy. Because people look at you in a different way when all you want to do is help them. And they're looking at you while you're trying to help them as if you're not helping them. But by helping them, you're not helping them. And I know that sounds like a little tongue twister, but I'll break it down a little bit more. You ever had a friend, right, that if you look 5, 6, 7 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, he's still in the same place and you've achieved a little bit more, right?
I respect what you're saying.
But you always want to come back to grab him and bring him and bring him. But he's always going to turn you off as if you're doing something wrong. But all you're trying to do is give him your blessing. A lot of times you can't give someone your blessing. Their blessing is their blessing. Where they want to be is where they want to be. But because you're such a good person inside, you always want that for them. Sometimes you want more for other people than you want for yourself.
You know what? I actually have experienced that. And it's to the point where they want so much of you, almost to the point where they want to be you.
Right.
You know, and you can't just give you.
Right. And then there's all the flip side of it when you have money and you can't help someone else unless you help yourself. So all those parameters are all in the book. It makes you understand on and what you think of relative to money and how you deal with money and all that stuff and how it kind of transforms your mind. You know, somebody get that book. Money Makes Me Crazy.
Get that book. And that's actually your latest book, right?
No, actually that's my first book.
That's your first book. Okay. You know what? I had it like on the invert. Okay. So and are you working on a third?
Well, actually, my second book just came out. It's called Building an Empire.
Building an Empire.
Right. And that's just basically getting the mindset of becoming an entrepreneur, the mindset of being an entrepreneur, the mindset of achieving, and how you can achieve what I've achieved or beyond what I've achieved.
Now, let's touch on entrepreneurship. Was this your mindset? As a matter of fact, I've learned that you have a military background.
Yes.
I've learned that.
Yes.
Now, the entrepreneurial spirit, did you have that prior to the military?
No.
Okay,
Not necessarily. No, I didn't. Raised in Queens, you're raised to think that a job, it's either the military, Verizon, bus, or cop. Good jobs, good paying jobs, jobs with benefits, that's all you think about. I was more creative somewhat in my head, at least. So I figured I would go fashion because I always felt like I had that kind of look. I like fashion, I like working in fashion stores, things like that, So that's kind of how you look at it. That's how you look at it.
Okay, so, but now creativity was something that was always innately in you.
Yes, but creativity is always in anybody. It's just what the military did was bring it out of me because it took me out of my block. It took me off my block. It took me out of my mindset. It broke the mold. It said, okay, your block isn't just it. That's it. That's all you know. All you know is your area and where you're from. You're always running around saying, I'm from this, I'm from that. That's all you know.
The light bulbs just went off.
Right. But when you're in the military, you're like, wow, you're meeting people from all different walks of life, different states, different countries. And then you go to different countries and you're seeing how they live and what they do and what they wear. And that just brought into my mind. So then I took all of that and then just that with music. Like I came back with some country music, and I came back with country rap, and this, and southern rap, and this, and all. And then people are like, what the heck is he playing? Oh, this is the jam. You know, I learned, you know, I didn't know anything about like a Too Short and all this stuff. I'm like, yo, man, listen to this Too Short. You know, listen to this DJ Quick. Yeah, DJ, who? And it brought in my mind.
That's right.
And that's what that did to me. And that made me. So that's what it was.
Now, did the military also like play a part in your discipline?
Well, they always
That's
say,
a light bulb went
yes,
off. I'm like,
discipline,
okay.
yes, because what was it? The slogan. The slogan was, "Pay attention to detail." Pay attention to detail. So the formula is this: you do things over and over and over, repetition, even when you don't want to do it. You keep doing it over and over. Why? Because it becomes second nature. So if something happens to you, something happens and you have stress and you're running around and things go crazy and people shoot bombs at you and this is happening and people are dying and this, you still automatically click. You know exactly what to do. Okay. So it actually, when I came out too, it kind of hurt me somewhat too. Because even with my partners sometimes, because my level of like, I had to kind of break it down to just saying it that way. My level of like is so high that when my other partners would say, hey guys, you know, hey, well, this is what we want to do. And I'm like, well, what is that? Well, what's wrong with it? It's all right. You like it? Oh, it's cool. So why do I want it? If it's just cool. You know, I want, it's not good enough. If it's here, that's good enough. And if we can raise the bar even higher, that's even better. But I'm not going to start here and go, that's okay. Well, what's okay? Hey, you know, I got something to hook you up with this lady. You know, how she look? She okay? Okay? Now if I say, oh, I got some shit, I can't even breathe. Tip my hat, all that. Which one do you want to be? You know what I mean?
You can't just be okay and try to take over the world.
You can't be okay when you try. I've always wanted it here. I don't like here. I always want things here. Why should I have it here?
Now, besides that, we're going to backtrack. I want to go like prior to the military. I want to know who J.Alexander Martin was. The guy from Queens. Hollis, Queens.
The guy from Queens was just some regular guy. Nobody. I was, my good friend Damon John, he was that guy. He was that guy. It was in junior high school, whatever. I just was a regular guy. I used to hang around him.
So he was the it guy.
He was the guy.
Okay.
And I just hung around him. And I don't know exactly when I developed, I do know when exactly. I didn't develop me and who Jay was until I left when the military and came back.
So you attribute a lot of your discipline and success to the military.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
What branch did you serve?
U.S. Navy.
U.S. Navy.
U.S. Navy. And I say that because, you know, I was a regular guy. It's regular, vanilla, whatever. Who cares? Whatever. That guy, okay, yeah. Didn't matter.
Do you still kind of keep that regular guy inside you? Because I think you win with that, actually.
Yes. I always say,
it's like relatable.
I'm saying, yes. I say that I am.
Use it as a weapon.
I dress regular but fashionable.
Right.
You know. So it's like, I always have that little edge is the fashion, that the little extra of that, what I've learned from all my travels. That's the extra. But that regular keeps me, like you said, grounded in all this array, all that stuff that all these people, a lot of times, you know, I deal with a lot of people that are searching to be something.
Right.
They're searching, they don't know who they are. And I got caught up in that just as well. You know, I'm Fubu, and it took a toll on me years into just being Mr. Fubu, or one of the guys. I asked Mr. Fubu. I walk into a club, hey, good Fubu guys here, and one day I just said, no, I'm Jay. Who's that guy? And it took our brand to go up, and of course, like any brand, it goes down and it goes back up. Bell curve, basic business. And it took when it was going down to say, well, who is Jay? And that's when from what you're saying, that's when I drew in on the fact that I didn't really know who I was back then. Because I was being something, not saying being something I wasn't. I was being something, I was being of fashion,
Right.
of business, but I wasn't being me.
And you still didn't quite figure out,
Right, you didn't, no. And it's not until until that happened, then I stepped back and I said, well, look, you're gonna like me for me, I'm dealing on my accord and how I like it and what I wanna do, and if you don't wanna do it, so what?
And that's so dope.
Well, not necessarily so what, because there's another thing about being, I'm not a type of person where I don't care, like some people who cares what people think about you? I care. Why? Because I want to be a leader. And if you're a leader, you have to make a good presentation. So I always want my presentation to be great. Because I want more people around me to be great. Because the greater I get, the greater they get, and some people may be even greater than I am. And we all be great. And if we're all great, then we can have possibly, hopefully one day, Black Wall Street again.
You know what? I get that. And to speak to that, like no matter what you do, right, there's going to be folks that's going to buy into that, maybe at a high percentage, but you always got a small percentage of people that you can't sell to. You just can't sell your personality. You just can't sell to them.
No, and again, you know what? They'll come around. They'll come around. This world is full of, it's like social media. It's full of people that just want likes.
That's a dirty trick they played on us. It's a dirty trick they played
Next
on us.
question.
I would say that you guys are short of a 30th anniversary, right? You're like just a few years away from that.
Nice. Yeah, probably like 3, 4 and a half.
That is big time.
Yeah.
That's big time. I want to touch into that right there. You have 4 partners, yourself, Damon, which you guys kind of stand out, and you have Keith and Carl, right? Now, but folks really know you, Damon, like you're more like out there. Like how is these other two? Like, is this purposely done that way? That they like?
No. So let me first go forwards and go backwards. Oh, actually go backwards and go forwards. So Keith and Carl. So Damon and I, because again, because we were friends. When I came back from the military, I got the GI Bill, went to school. I was, medical discharged, 50% disabled, whatever. Long story short is, I took my money, gave it to him, and said, let's start this brand, such. While we were doing that, Carl, because Carl's his neighborhood friend actually lived like down the block, he was helping us back and forth.
Okay.
Right? A little later on, Keith was living in the house that we were doing the business with. But Keith had a job already. So Keith couldn't really help as much, but he'd help, when he came.
And he provided the base.
He couldn't help when he came.
Okay.
Right? So fast forward, when we started really going, Keith wound up leaving his job or whatever, something happened with his job. And Carl wound up just saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to, try to do this full time. But they both came on when it was the best time, because we really needed more of a foundation. We really needed a crew of us to kind of get this done.
So you Voltron at the perfect
So
time.
we Voltron at the perfect time.
Wow. And it's almost 30. Is it 27 to be exact? I think it was 92 when it took off, right?
Yeah.
So, who was your competition at that time? Like when I think back, 92.
See, that's that word.
Okay.
That's the bad word.
Okay.
Because we don't look at competition. At least I know I don't. And I don't believe Damon does it as well. We just do what we do. You know, I'll come up with some concepts. I run it by the guys. You like this, you don't like this, right? I'll take their feedback, come back and go back to the lab, throw their elements or whatever they think of it and bring them back. I like it. And when everybody likes it, then I know it's a winner. Because you have 4 different personalities, 4 different kind of guys, 4 guys that like different things. I've always been a suit guy, you know, just as well, but I know how to get down with my Timbs and all that too. I just know everything in fashion. I'm a fashion boy. I wear everything. You know, Keith, it was, you know, I don't want to say grimy, but you know what? He was more grimy, hood, like that. That was his thing. You know, you're not gonna really see him in a suit that often. Carl was like one of those guys, like, yo, you know what? I'm just wearing what I'm wearing. I don't care. You know what? That's it. And Damon was a fly guy in high school, but then Damon kind of just, I think because he was so fly in high school, always had the hottest shit, that when later on, it just was like, I did that already.
Yeah, he didn't want to fly.
So now he's like, look, I'll throw on what I throw on, I wear what I wear, but he's a black guy. Black boots, black jeans, black whatever, he's the basic whatever. So it's funny, because if we do a color, I'm going to do a colorway, it's like, well, where's the black? They would say, well, I'm just doing this black, just black. And I always have to make sure I throw some black in there for him so he can be, you know, he can be cool. But with all that, you know, put together, that's how we make it.
I'm glad you laid it out that way, like when it comes down to the word competition, right? Because it's actually a principle that my high school basketball coach, like, instilled in us. You know, like, one team will be, you know, they'll be working on their layups. This is like prior to the game. We're working on our layups. If we was watching their layup line, somebody's getting benched. Work on your layups.
Right.
Focus on what you're doing.
Right.
You know,
right.
so I 1000% get what you just laid out.
And the way I describe it in my new book, it's almost like a goal. If you're looking at somebody else, then you're looking at that as a goal because you want to beat them instead of doing you. So I say like this: if you're a goal, right? You put your finger like this and you look through. I can only see the camera. I can't see anything else. So if we're filming right now, there's a better shot over there. There's maybe a better shot over there. But right now, we're only concentrating on right here. So I need vision. So, and that's how I thought about things even getting in fashion. I wanted to be a buyer, yes, but I wanted to get, and I figured a buyer is business, so I can be open to do anything. If you're a buyer, you can buy anything in fashion, beauty, lifestyle, all of that. And that's what a buyer does. It's not just you just buy one thing and you specialize in one thing, you specialize in everything. Or, you know, it's almost like somebody said one day to me, I'd rather learn or know a little bit about everything than 100% about one thing.
There was something that you guys did, like from a marketing standpoint, where you made a bold statement for us, by us, okay? You're not just saying, hey, you know what? We're African Americans just doing business, we got clothes. You said this is for us, by us. That is a powerful statement right there. And to me, as someone who actually, like, you know, I consumed, I ran with that because of that. This was even prior to me checking out the details. Just that statement alone did the trick for me. Now, what was the creative behind that?
And to be honest, I can't tell you. Why I can't tell you is because I came along. When I came along at the point where Damon already had the name and Damon already had the label from a guy, actually a guy named Shamik, to be honest. His name is Shamik. He created the logo. And those guys were coming up with a name because they needed something for his hat. I just took it from there on and said, this is hot. let me turn this into a line. And for the grace of God, I was able to do that.
Now, well, obviously, your stamp of approval meant a lot. Now, what if you would just turn around and say, "Oh, it's okay"?
That shit wasn't just okay. That shit was way up here.
It's undeniable.
That shit was way up here.
Like, did you think?
I saw the vision, but if I just saw this, the goal, we would have been something. We just sold a hat, so maybe they sold another hat, maybe we had another hat, and that's it.
Did you
And
know
I would
what
have
you
went
were
off and me?
Yeah. Did you know?
I always say yes, because this is what I wanted to do. They didn't want to do this. This is what they wanted to do. He would care less. You know, that guy was going to freaking make it hook or crook. He was going to sell hammers, screwdrivers, mirrors, whatever. Keep the car, I don't know, you know, I necessarily didn't know what they were going to do because they wasn't really that close to me at that time, you know what I mean, back then. You know, they were just there. We all came together as a group, you know, because Keith was in school with us, you know, through co-op. Carl, you know, I met through Damon and stuff like that, but Damon was my guy. So I knew what he was going to do. Me, I was going to make it. You know, I was going to make it. I had no choice. So, no, I don't know.
Okay. Because I get the for us buyers, but now it's an international brand now. So now is it for you by us?
Now, so, you know what, to be honest, I look at it like a lot of people would take their meaning, it's almost like, it's like we birthed it and now it's of the world.
Yeah.
So there's going to be so many different meanings, and I can't tell someone their meaning is different or wrong. So I let everybody go.
It's hard. It's like
hard.
Whatever you get.
Whatever you get from it.
Okay. So now, I did notice because I've read that you guys ventured off and you still do certain things under Fubu.
Oh, certain things we still know. We actually still going. We have you know, this is our watches. I would have worn the glasses, but I put my contacts in today. So you know, suits.
Right.
So we have clothing, we have apparel, and men's, women's, kids. We have that coming. Actually, I've gotten all the production samples. I'm just waiting for everything to open up so we can, you know, start distributing to the stores and get it out there. Right now, we're just limited to more so the internet. You know, which is, I mean, nothing wrong with that. We're still doing very, you know, well on that, but we don't want to put everything on there right yet until, you know, until it, you know, this thing subsides somewhat, you know, this sort of COVID-19 thing. We have eyewear, we have watches, things like that. That's selling now. It's in the stores. In the stores, and it's online. So you can still go to fubu.com and check us out. So we haven't left, never left. People would say, "Oh, well, you left. I thought you sold it." Sell anything.
You're still here, still current. I want to talk about suits. I'm waiting for that apparel, that suit apparel to come out.
No, it's out. It's out. But like I said, everything has just been on a halt. Everything's frozen because, you know, actually it's in stores now, and like what. You know, so
you can't really get in the store.
Can't even get in the store. So, you know, we're stuck until this subsides.
So I know when it comes to the suits, I know that's you.
Yeah.
That's all the way you.
Yeah. They, you know, to be honest, everything's like our business turns to licensing business. To be honest, you know, we're not actually doing everything. You know, even if I go to my phone, actually it's over there, I can show you the line for our, you know, for our overseas line that I have to approve actually I do that in the morning. So we all in business, we're all still working, we're all still getting it going. It's just right now, until like I said, until things subside, we can really get it out. I mean, I like wearing suits, but nobody's wearing a suit now, you know, sitting at home, you know what I mean?
Like you touched on, like you're in the licensing business now. Is it easier that way?
I mean, it's easier to be. I like
you don't have to do much, but you still like.
No, we always have to do much. There's always much to do.
Okay.
There's always much to do. There's always much to do. You know, because again, overseeing. So now licensing isn't what people think. You know, as far as you know, you just sit back and just let them do all the work. You have to monitor. You're engulfed in everything that they do.
You're creating flavor.
Yeah, you're creating the plan, you're creating the marketing plan, you're creating all that, and you're kind of handing it off to them for them to just kind of put together, you know, and you're getting a royalty off of that, but you're still engulfed in everything that's happening. We would never just hand over something and go sit back and think, where's my check? It's not us.
Do you ever take time out, even if it's just like a brief time out, to say, okay, I started here, right? Hollis, Queens. Didn't quite know what my identity would be. Go to the military, now I have a global brand. You ever think back and say like, wow?
I'm gonna say this question back to you. Did you ever sit back and go, wow, I'm a human. Wow, there's Mars. Oh my God, I looked up the sky the other day, it was really, really like clear, and I saw Venus. Wow, is there other people out there like me? Did you do that? You did that?
So
Answer your question.
you just going.
Just go with it.
You just going.
I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I know that that's what I was put on the earth to do. I was put on the earth to do to give people an alternative to say, you know what, I don't have to just be a football player. I don't just have to be a rap artist, music artist. I could do something else. I could start another type of business. And that's what I was doing.
And I would say, and I'm sure that you have got some amazing perks, like along the line, like being in this business, like, you know, like having that high reach. I know you've been to these events, rubbing elbows with folks. Like, what was probably the craziest thing you've ever seen, like at an event? And not crazy don't have to mean bad. It doesn't have to mean bad. I mean, it can be dope. Someone that you've met, anything.
No, only thing, I mean, and this is maybe scratching on your back, you know, patting yourself in the back, as you say, not scratching, but we did something called Y2G,
Okay.
and we gave back to all of the artists and, you know, people, what do they call them now? Tastemakers, influencers,
Right.
you know, and sports from all over, politicians, everyone that was doing something, and everybody that supported us. And we took them all to St. Martin's. We took over both part of the island, and spent $1 million on it, a little over $1 million back then in 2000, like that, 2000, like that. It's Y2G, and we gave back to them. And I think the biggest part of that was the fact to see all these celebrities, because they're free. We bring jumbo jets, everybody came for free. You could bring a guest, you brought your guest,
So they had a plus
wife,
one?
had a +1, everybody came for free. You didn't have to pay for anything. Island for, I think it was like a week, we had concerts, everything's free for the whole island to everybody. And I think that was the best thing I could ever think about, because to see all these people you look up to, all these people that, you know, that sang, you know, songs. I mean, we had every artist. I mean, countless. It's ridiculous how many people we had out there and who performed. I mean, A-lists, A, B, C, D, Q, whatever artist, like all of them. And just to see everyone just having a good time. You know, we have video of like Mr. Biggs dancing, like just having a good old time dancing.
Mr. Biggs.
Mr. Biggs.
Ronald Isley?
Ronald Isley.
Oh,
dancing, just kicking, you know.
So you're giving me something.
Sweating. So yeah, so that was the best.
So like,
Other than that, I can't look at anything else. I can't think of anything else because I like to share, and we're sharing that moment, and those people chose to come to share their moments with us too.
right, right.
And if you ask anybody that went, they will never forget that, because now, like I said, the world is real surface. People go to the club, they throw money in the air. Oh, so you threw a couple of dollars in there. Nobody will ever do what we did. Ever. Ever.
That whole throwing money in the air stuff, like to me, that's corny. And that's actually a great segue to my next question. Like, what does rich mean to you? What does wealth mean to you?
Well, I mean, of course, money makes it crazy. Wealth is generations. It's really, you can't spend that money.
No matter how hard you try.
Not necessarily how hard you try, but it's not Wealth is this. Wealth is not yours. Like, I'm not making money for me. I'm on this earth, it's not for me. It's for them.
So my successors.
When you think that way, that's a wealth mentality. It's never for you. It's for them. Whoever that them may be.
You have a master class that you teach.
I have a class. My name is crazy.com. You can go there. It's not a class, but more like a course. But it's a small course, so you can understand money. Other than that, that's it. I probably will build, once it's all over, I'll build a whole big course on that, on the whole trilogy of the books. But right now, I'm pushing the building an empire, because people need to understand. Entrepreneurship is a job. People don't look at it like that. It's a job. And not everybody can do that job. Not everybody can be a freaking scientist, microbiologist or whatever, right? Not everybody can be an entrepreneur.
That is a tough job. Not everybody's built for it.
Right. For instance, an entrepreneur right now, say this space right now, right? Say this building, you got the space, right? You have to own this building and the COVID. So everybody's moving out or not paying rent. You're an entrepreneur. You run this business, you run businesses in these little areas, in these little, in each apartment or each not apartment, in each space. Okay, say somebody rents a space. Now they're not renting anymore because nobody wants to come. How are you going to stay afloat?
What to do?
How are you going to be creative enough to get people to want to come in and do something? Do you keep enough money on the side for times like this? And who would even know times like this would happen?
So I'm telling you, for me, like being an events person, can't just be out there like.
So I take my hat off for that one.
Hey, listen, now I'm like, okay, what we still have? We still have our stories to tell.
Yeah.
Like people want to hear these stories, especially like folks such as yourself, who actually.
And the funny thing about it, I commend. What's his name? What's his name? What's it? DJ D-Nice.
D-Nice.
He took the party, innovative, so innovative. He's more of an entrepreneur. He's not just the guy that just spins some records. He's an entrepreneur because he took a situation and turned it. You know how much money he's probably making? Sponsoring, just doing what he does anyway.
It's TV shows.
He's on the Oscars, all of a sudden now, because he just said, I'm gonna make this happen. And he did it, he flipped it, he said, look, I'm gonna do this out for free, I'm gonna do a party, I'm gonna do it online, and everybody's gonna come. And look, everybody came. And now he's sponsored by this, sponsored by that. 100 grand, 100 grand, 100 grand.
He's probably one. Well, let me not say that. He said he's thinking COVID.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Not that anybody's thinking COVID, but I'm saying it has worked out for some people.
Now, honestly, I'll be honest, I took the time to write a book, of course, during COVID. I'm full of rheumatism, like I said before. I'm Sam, which is, I have a cage code.
Okay.
And I'm, it's SDVOSB, so I can sell to the Veterans Administration, I can sell to government.
Okay.
I sell PPE products to the government and the like. And I just flipped it. I took what I've had because I've had that experience with the government. I know what the government needs. So I wind up selling products, not just products, but I sell. I'll do real estate or if they need plumbing or whatever, construction, things like that. So I do.
That's forward thinking. You know, with
And
being a
that's
forward
an entrepreneur.
that is an entrepreneur. Thinking ahead. And when do you think this whole thing is going to be over with? Do you think it's going to be over with soon?
I think I give it a year. A year.
A year?
A year.
My guess is 2023. That was my guess.
I give it a year. Because regardless of who gets in, they're gonna have like this winter is gonna be a cold winter. I feel it. And you know, again, I'm not going to talk political because everybody has it. I'm an opinion guy. I don't care whatever you say. Look, that's your opinion. That's what you like. That's your opinion. What you like, but you can't cheat facts. The fact is, this is. I don't care where it came from. It's here. How are you going to deal with it? And I don't think it's being dealt with right. That's just what I would say.
And that's all good. That's all good. I mean, that's.
But it's going to be at least a year before we can get it under grasp, because there's too many people denying it. Now, I think that we all could have been much better off if everybody just got serious with it. Because, for instance, I always say, you know, people talk, I don't want to wear this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And I say to them, well, just like you didn't want to wear a condom, but you wear a condom.
You took it there.
Just like you didn't want to put a seatbelt on, put the seatbelt on, right? So, why can't you just do that?
I got that. Read that message loud and clear.
You know? Now, if you're running around, you know, with a disease, you run around with a disease, you may be running around with a disease. Why would you want to transmit it to somebody else?
You know what's so crazy? Like being that we're just so conditioned, just living a certain way, it's hard. We're creatures of habit. It's hard to break out of that habit. And at the same time, we have a lack of trust from what we see in the media.
True, but see no, see, I'm not even going to do that.
For me, I don't trust
for you. And this is what I'm going to say to you. This is what I'm going to say to you. And I've said this to a number of people. If I tell you something over and over and over again, after a while, you might start thinking that that's right.
It's programming.
It's programming. So, for instance, you have 5 wrongs on this side, and this supposedly perfect situation on this side. All I have to do is say, make up one thing that you supposedly have done, and all my 5 doesn't mean anything. Now we're both on the same level. And that's what's happening. What people are doing, the media's job is to tell you the news. Now, I've always known that if the media gets it wrong, they say, hey, they put a retraction. The problem now is that everybody is news. When it comes to social media, when it comes to, you know, just the internet, everybody's opinion is not news. And that's the problem. So everybody's opinions have been formulated and said, and you've heard it so much, and after a while, it's like, I don't trust it. You don't trust it because you're not listening to the news. You're listening to what you hear.
And this is the whole comparison between like social media versus the news?
Correct. Because to me, the news, and then too, you're listening, and there's some of the news that you're thinking you're listening to isn't news. It's opinion. So if I tell you the opinion over and over and over again, you're going to start thinking it's the news and it's right.
The one thing that I'm sure that we both agree on this, people have passed. That's what made it real to me.
Right. You know? So again, so what happened to me and how I see it, again, you're entitled, who was entitled to their opinion and how they see it. I just see it where I was told in the beginning that everything was fine. This is going to end. Everything's going to be great. No problem. This is fake. It's false. It's fake news. It's all this stuff. Meanwhile, one of my best friends, his mother and father died. So I'm like,
Yeah, it's
like a week apart.
It's like, wait a minute.
So I'm like, okay, well, are you sure this is fake? So my point is, when you say that I can't trust the news, I can't trust the news, you know, if you're listening to the news is going to tell you based off of facts, because journalism used to be about collecting the facts and then you write a story. It's not collecting opinions and writing a story. And I think that's why people have this whole thing about, I don't trust the news.
So now, like, and I do see journalism.
And again, I'm just making it, I'm just breaking it down how I see why. You know, because it's not a matter, to me, I always look, because I'm a creative director. So my job is not to tell you you're wrong. My job is to understand you, period, and what you're saying. Wrong or right. I don't look at wrong or right. I don't look at things being a problem. I look at things as being a solution.
No, I get that. That's a perspective that, you know, I actually get that. But for me, it goes a little deeper when it comes to media. Like, as far as like who they're owned by, they're all selling the same story. They're just trying to get the story out first. You know, it's this side against that side. Like, because there's so many differences, that right there is what confuses me, and I'm sure a lot of people. You know, but that makes it real.
That makes it real.
So I'm like, okay, like, you know what, whatever it is, I'm not gonna gamble.
That makes it real.
You know?
Oh, it's real. Oh, you real. Oh, you real.
I'm not,
Oh, you real.
It's something out there. It's some poison out there.
Something happening.
It's something happening, and it's like, you know, I'm not going to gamble.
I'm gonna tell you. Being I said I sell the PPE products. I went to one of the factories. This is like in the second and a half month of when it first started. And one of my suppliers, we walked through two freaking stories. It's on my Instagram. Well, actually, I posted it, but it's not on it. Well, it was on Instagram. So we walking through, and I'm like, what's that over there? What's the coffins? Coffins? He said, yeah, I'm donating coffins to the hospitals. I just stood there like, oh, come on, we're going over there to show you the stuff. And I'm still standing there. So my group, we're walking because we have to look at all the stuff to make sure it's there, take pictures and stuff like that. And I'm still standing there. What? And they,
You know something? We went all the way left, man. This is what I want to know. Let's bring it back to this. Are you a cigar and whiskey guy?
am
Okay. Do you have a personal favorite?
I? Liquor provider number 9. Cigar.
Cigar?
Yeah.
Bring that back? I didn't catch
Liquor
it.
provider number 9.
Liga Provider number 9. You know, I'm a fan of Liga Provider.
Liquor provider best.
I like the Dirty Rat Liga Provider.
Dirty Rats cigar. That it's great. It's great. It's up there, but it's great. You know what? I'm not a fan of Padron.
I am. Thank you. The
It's okay. It's okay, but Padron, but the liquor provider to me,
They're consistent. They're consistent.
because Padron that's a boring draw to me. I like strong, full body.
So you're a
Maduro
full
rapper.
So you're full body.
Yeah.
I'm a medium guy. I can
Yeah,
do full.
that's
I gotta work my way to
Right.
full.
That's why I like Patron.
I can't just go straight at it.
I started that way. So if I go anything less,
It's not really gonna do
I'm
much
not
for
doing
you.
anything fun.
Now, what would you say to those, right? You know, when I know someone is not a cigar smoker,
What's that?
when they say, "Oh, you got a Cuban?"
First thing you say, you gotta keep
The
it.
first thing you
Yeah.
it's like, you know, I get it.
Yeah.
I get, like, you know, like Cubans are so well marketed, the history is
Yeah.
so rich. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, prior to the embargo, all these
Yeah.
companies
Yeah.
were in Cuba. Like,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But it also tells me this: you don't know anything about cigars.
No. Because you know they all everything's in Nicaragua. So what are we talking about right now?
You know, and listen, like, you know what, and just all respects to the Cubans because, you know, they stayed at the 90s level,
Right.
all right? But there are some smokes out there that will blow it out the water.
Yeah, you know, there's some, actually too, there's some smokes out there that are relatively inexpensive,
Yeah.
that are pretty good too.
Yeah, man,
You
listen,
know,
I
so,
got some
You
good
know,
smokes
I
like
tell
$11.
people, when you walk in there, you just, after a while, when you get on, you try one, you try one, you try one, you try, you know, try it till you fail,
Right.
you know.
It comes down to your palate.
I'm not your palate. Again, like I said, I'm a full body man.
All right, cool, man. You know what? We gotta, when we catch up, when all this opens up,
Yes,
we
yes.
gotta make sure that we
Yes,
do that. Now,
yes.
do you have a particular whiskey that you like?
No, I'm a whiskey whore. I go to.
You're not loyal to any whiskey.
No, it's funny. I'm not loyal to any whiskey.
So he's a whiskey whore.
I'm a whiskey whore because what happens is I'm always talking to fine gentlemen, and I'm always sitting with fine gentlemen, and everybody's palate is different. So they'll hand me, a Zibuku, Japanese whiskey. I forgot. Hibiki, Japanese whiskey. Or they'll, Macallan, or what's the other one? I sort of took volunteer, something like that. Not B.
It's with an L?
I think it's
Agave or something like that? Or?
No, I just saw it. I was passing by the store. There's a few other ones, and everyone bring their own different one. Like my father, he likes what was it? Darn it, I forget the exact name. Jack Daniels, but he likes single barrel.
A single barrel Jack.
But I'll give him the high end of it. It's like 100 and something proof of it. Oh my goodness.
Single barrel Jack.
And I'll sit with him and I'll drink that. So and then my uncle, he'll like bourbon,
Right.
And so it's like, I can't just say I'll just go by what everybody wants, and that,
Okay.
when you're in that cigar, whiskey kind of culture, it's your day about, we all communal, so you want to drink, you drinking this, okay, he's finished, okay, that's finished, that bottle's done, you drink something else, so I can't just, I only want this.
What you gravitate more towards, the bourbon or scotch?
Scotch.
Scotch.
Yeah.
Okay. It fluctuates with me.
Yeah, no.
It fluctuates.
No. I find that when I drink with older gentlemen, they bourbon. When I drink with slightly old, they're scotch.
So you telling me I'm getting old?
Hey, listen.
That's a mean hat there too, brother.
Listen. When you start wearing this, and it start looking right like that, and you start doing this,
I like the word vintage.
Vintage, yeah. Because you know what's funny? I know you could. I'm gonna throw a question to you. Like, remember back when we was all kids, right? And we'd sit there, we see the older guys talking about. Remember when?
Yes.
It's our time, man. But it's like fine wine, man. It's better now, because now you have so much wisdom and so much. I'd rather be this guy.
It's a blessing, man.
I'd rather be this guy. And then two, all the people that didn't make it because they went the wrong way and their vision was, somewhere else. So,
Yeah, respects to all those who didn't make it to where we had, and and listen, continue blessings to us.
yeah.
My brother, I want to thank you.
Yes.
I want to thank you for
Thank you.
having a stand-up sit down with me.
No, it's all good.
This was really cool, man. We touched on multiple things, and the goal for me was to get the folks out there, because a lot of us already know you. You are a celebrated person, but of course, there's new pairs of eyes.
Okay.
All right, that need to see you for the first time, man. They need to know that you are a hidden apple seed, man.
Well, thank
Like, that's
you.
what this is
Again,
about.
whatever I say, I hope I helped. I hope I bless someone. Whatever I say, my failures, my supposed failures, because I don't look at it as failure, I look at it as a positive, and how, because if that didn't happen, then I wouldn't be where I was. So why would I call that a problem or a failure? You follow me? And I hope somebody takes that message and starts think different.
You know what, but before we close out, where can you direct them to get your books from?
Oh, okay, so you can go to my site, J.Alexander.com, or go to BarnesandNoble.com or Amazon.com.
We're gonna include the links.
And you can find me. If you go to J.Alexander.com, then you can go to the top of the page, click on my Instagram or my LinkedIn or whatever, Twitter or whatever, and get in touch with me. I'm always around.
Jay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Kindly.
Thank you, man. And thanks to you folks out there for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Again, this is Hidden Apple Seeds. Signing out.
Hey, this is J.Alexander Martin, Fubu, and I'm so happy, I'm so blessed to be a part of this interview, Hidden Apple Seeds. Hope you guys got something out of it. I hope I blessed you in some way. And again, you know, it's not hidden anymore because I said it all. All right.